All right, welcome back, all the dorkouts and nerd bombers of the world. Welcome back to Property Overwatch. This is the QRF grab and go style loadout, rapid response, which is very simple. And this is the most important loadout, in my opinion, for people to train in and be comfortable with. You just saw on my channel a community response team SOP style loadout where it's very important that if you implement something like that, you look like you're not fucking around today and you look very professional. I do think that's important if you are going to implement that, but it's not likely to be needed in our lifetimes, right? What's most likely to be needed for prepared citizens is something that is simple and idiot proof, and something that you are very comfortable with, that you have trained with. And if I could own one nylon product the rest of my life, it would be this one. It would be the Unobtainium Gear split front 5.56 chest rig. This is what I fuck with the most, and it's bomb proof, man. This has been rained on. This has been just through the ringer, and it has held up phenomenally. But yeah, the only change to the rifle here for something like this, for my purpose, is the bipod. So I'm on a very large farm here and surrounded on three sides by acres and acres and acres of orchards that are not my property. And so it's important that I'm able to take a steady shot. And so when I get back from the range or whatever the fuck I'm doing with this, I will M-lock back on my Harris self-leveling bipod, and that's how it sort of lives. I showed you in the Go to War loadout that I can do a little scope mount that comes off here with the Anchor cylindrical battery pack for this. But most of the time I just rock the CR123s in there because I use it as a thermal monocular quite often, so I can just pop it on and off. But yeah, there's only so many pieces of kit, only so many items, only so many pieces of gear that are actually like a cheat code, that are actually going to really plus up your ability. For me, out of everything, out of analog night vision, digital night vision, out of everything I own, this thermal scope is that cheat code. So this is as basic as it gets for me for what I want to accomplish. I know a lot of people want to prepare for active shooters out there with their truck gun or vehicle weapons and shit. A lot of people foresee themselves using their concealed carry and all that. But I think it's really important that we have something that adds firepower and is able to be deployed, and that you are just fucking John Wick with it, right? That's really important for me. It's a large property. This is what I choose to go with. And if you want to protect your family, respond to help your community, respond to take out an active shooter, whatever that is, for you, your general purpose shit should be set up for that. But yeah, the Harris bipod, pretty cool. Did the little paracord mod here where I don't know that a rapid deployment of the bipod is very necessary. I think it's kind of corny, but a quiet deployment is nice, right? Because these can be very loud, right? My wife got me this sweet camo tape that I wrapped all the parts that kind of make sense there. And I added, in the horse world, we call this vet wrap, but it's essentially just the, camouflage, medical tape style shit. And I have a few little rolls of that on there so that if I wanted to attach natural vegetation to the front of this bipod, this area of the weapon, to really conceal the barrel part here, I could do that. But it's not that deep, and then I can tuck this with a loop back up under there, and that's how I have it set up. But not that deep. I think it's, if you are rocking with a bipod, it's really important that you are comfortable swimming out of your sling, so that you can, get on the bipod, right? But yeah, besides that, Siggy Azalea hasn't changed that much. A lot of people rock the 20 rounders when they're fucking with the bipod. I don't know, the height that I have this set up for me, you know, with this chest rig and stuff, like laying in the prone, I had this height set up, you know, perfectly for me. But you know, when you're actually training, like, I don't understand why people, you know, say the 20 rounders are so important, because, you know, the height is such that, like, I'm always canting the rifle this way to reload, whether it's a 20, 30, or 40 rounder. So, you know, I fuck with the 40 rounders quite often and they fit fine. But I guess everybody's height is sort of different for their, you know, their bipod. But yeah, the Harris bipod has been good. I know a lot of people fuck with the Magpuls for weight savings, but I like the Harris. It's been awesome. But yeah, like I said, if I could own one nylon product the rest of my life, it would be this one. So, you know, it's not super important that this needs to be concealed, but I like that it can flex into that roll. And then always get them in black, because you can make them disappear, right, with the black shirt underneath. And, you know, if somebody did see this, they'd probably just think it was a back brace or something, but you can access your shit. If you are going to choose garments to conceal your rigs, you know, make sure that it's like a snap button like this or whatever, so that you don't have to unbutton 10 million things. But not super important. I just wanted to show you that it can flex. You know, very minimal printing there. And yeah, this is the Unobtainium gear 556 split front. I showed you in community response loadout number 2, the PCC or subgun version of that. So, you know, this is very handy as well. You know, and, you know, I talked about the importance of having a weapon system that can be concealed inside of a small backpack, not some big alarming backpack. But, you know, for rapid response where you need the firepower, you know, are just going with whatever you need to do to accomplish what you need to. Yeah, I think it's not super important that you, you know, conceal everything, right? But yeah, I love this thing, man. This has been through the ringer. It's been, you know, rained on at the range. You know, it's bomb proof. So the elastic is just fucking bomb proof. Like they do a great job with their products, man. Made in Virginia, I believe, is Unobtainium gear, and you can just feel the difference. Like, it's so much thicker. Like the T-Rex elastic cummerbunds, the Blue Force Gear elastic pistol mag pouches that I own, they have frayed out like within weeks. And I mean, they still work, they still do their job, you know, over the last like 3-4 years that I've owned those products. But, you know, this is just like, I mean, you can just feel the difference in the elastic. It's almost like twice as thick. So that's where it's at. But I like the ability with these split fronts that you can easily just plus them up, you know. So in the little double mag plus up there, you know, I just keep 40 rounders, and yeah, I just like this streamlined, tight to the body. Try to tape up my tails, and always important when you're responding to whatever you need to, that you wear your Palmetto Dissident t-shirt. And yeah, you know, it's like super simple. Like I would rock this in an overt way too. Like, you know, if I was patrolling with some Minuteman group in the woods or something in the future, I would absolutely rock this. It just keeps things simple. You know, it's rapid response, right? So you don't need radio pouches, right? You need your goddamn cell phone in your pocket, right? So this is just practical shit. Like this is the most important loadout. And this is what, you know, I choose to train with, you know, the most, and just make my go-to shit, right? And, you know, the ability that it can flex into a concealable roll, that's great, but not the most important. And, you know, of course, everybody will state that your concealed carry is your most important thing. And yeah, like, I agree. But ultimately, like, I think that a rapid response QRF style rifle loadout is just as important these days, man. You know, the collapse of our infrastructure it's not like theoretical anymore. Like this is it's historical. It's I believe we will see a surgical, like asymmetrical attack on our infrastructure in the next 3 to 5 years, and that may not result in citizens and prepared preppers needing to defend anything, but because people can collapse our infrastructure without sending people onto our soil. And we may not need to, defend things with, loadouts like this, but we will be required to help each other out. And, this is just part of that preparedness, in my opinion. I think we're going to see some shit, unfortunately. And, this is just like my go-to shit that I keep ready to rock and roll, for that reason. I love Unobtainium gear, man. This is, pretty early on, in my latest bout of buying gear, like this past decade, like, I bought this and it's been awesome, man. You go through phases of life, right? Where you just don't have time for, firearms like hobbies. And, then you get back into it and shit like that. And this is something I've had for a long time, and it's just been fucking awesome. And yeah, always recommend you get them in black. Like I said, they will be very lightweight as well, and able just to, you can wrap it up, conceal it in a backpack or under your fucking truck seat, whatever your shit is, and, deploy it when need be. But yeah, I will do a spotlight video on Unobtainium gear. So, I own the strip placard, which, I got the H harness for, and all the extra flaps. You can make it a, chest rig as well. Like they do such a great job. I will do a spotlight on everything that can fit in those sewn in pouches. Literally everything fits in there. I don't know why people complain about that, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, y'all. Super simple, really important. This is what I would recommend if somebody wants to get like a go-to item that, they can respond rapidly to something if need be. But hope y'all enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.